Welcome to the Billionaire Think Tank Podcast, the place to be if you're an entrepreneur and want to discover a wide range of financial news, entertainment, and cutting-edge advice so you can make smart financial choices and invest wisely with an empowering community of like-minded people. Come eavesdrop on conversations with industry experts and learn about the latest tools to boost your life, financial state, and overall future. Slip into your favorite spot. Grab some coffee, hen, or wine of your choice. Smoke something if you got it. And kick back for today's show. Here's your host, DJ Third Letter.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Billionaire Think Tank Podcast. And as usual, it's me, Third Letter, your host, guiding you on as we navigate through those relatable topics and finding a better path through our lives. That's what we do here at Billionaire Think Tank. You know, it's each one teach one. You know, the whole reason for Billionaire Think Tank is for, you know, I'm not sitting here saying we know everything. I'm not sitting here saying I can change your life overnight. I'm sitting here saying I'm just like you. I'm jumping in. I want to learn about stocks, option trading, real estate, all everything to better our lives, you know, and to help as an entrepreneur grow. So I'm just like you. So basically, you know, we're taking this journey together. Without you, there's no me. Without me, there's no you. We're teaming up and we're saying, okay, everybody wants to change their lives, right? Everybody's entrepreneurs that's listening to this, or you want to be an entrepreneur. So basically, it's like, let's do this together. It's always better to have two's better than one, you know? So you know how we do it about this time. If you got it, roll it up. If you don't indulge in that, you know, it's cool. You know, pour you up some coffee, some orange juice. If you drink Hennessy, wine, Patron, it doesn't matter. However you chill, that's how you chill, you know, and that's what all I'm asking you to do right now is to get comfortable, you know, put the kids up, get them busy if you have kids, or if you're in your office, sit back with your headphones on, riding around in your car, if you're traveling, you know, just sit back, chill. And I want you to think about the things that we talk about because your opinion definitely matters, first and foremost, you know. So don't forget to subscribe, to follow, to comment, and let me know how you feel. You know, let me know what you're thinking about the topic, and let me know why you think that way. And, you know, I'll talk back with you. I might even bring you on to the show because this show is your show. So if you want to be a part of this show, you want me to interview you, put you on this show, just let me know. Just email me, contact me. You know, I'm very easy to get a hold of. So just contact me and I want to bring you on the show. It don't matter if, you know, you're a regular person all the way up to you might be a certified trader or a certified real estate agent or anybody in business or regular life that just wants to get on here and let's have a discussion. Let's just talk. So make sure you get at me. You know what I'm saying? For real. So I'm definitely getting relaxed and comfortable right now. Hold up. It's definitely a relaxing time, you know. So let me go ahead and get in here and say, you know, today's episode, we're going to be exploring a rather important side of the entrepreneur's life, like for real, you know what I'm saying? Probably, if not the first, at least it's in the top 3 of an entrepreneur's life, and that's the entrepreneur's relationship. Yes, you heard me right, you know. We're going to be looking for the middle ground and navigating relationships and entrepreneurship. You know, the regular questions, how do we balance it, you know, to come out successful on both sides? You know, and that's major because I know every entrepreneur, especially if you're in a relationship, you know, it's hard to tangle both of those sides for everybody. You know, you got to keep everybody happy. And if you're an entrepreneur, like I'm an entrepreneur, 99.9% of the time, I'm focused on my business. I'm focusing on my investments. I'm focusing on making sure that, I mean, I'm just making sure that everything is right, because without my investments that I'm taking from my household to invest on this business, if this business flops, that means I'm coming home with a flop story. That means I might not be able to pay my rent. That means I might not be able to take the kids out. I might not be able to take the spouse out or something like that. So it's very important, your business, But then what's also important is making sure your household is happy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's nothing worse than leaving out in the morning, trying to handle your business, and then coming home and the home is not right. The home is not happy. They stressed out because you're always gone. They're stressed out because, you're to yourself maybe sometimes. You stay in front of the computer all the time. Things like that, And we got to talk about both sides. I definitely feel like this is just a very important thing. You know what I'm saying? So if I can answer that question, or if you can answer that question, just follow closely as we go on. You know what I'm saying? Now, check me out. We're going to start like this. For real. Hold on. You already know. First of all, foremost, shout out to the Pot House Dispensary in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They like to sponsor us. So, in Oklahoma, we have our medical card. So I'm definitely need my medical marijuana while I smoke, For real, it makes it better. So if you got it, it's all good. You might be, in the house, rolling on the car right now, headed out of town. You might be in your office, at home, to put the kids up, let them watch TV, any of that. And it's just time. It's you time. It's us time. It's entrepreneur time. You know what I'm saying? So let's do this Let's do this. Let's take a moment to picture what we have all imagined is the typical entrepreneur's life. I'm pretty sure we all have these similar images: long hours into the night, missed meals, lots of research and energy, and essentially lots and lots of work. But, what doesn't come into the frame of mind is enough time spent with your significant other, or maybe engaging in activities with the kids, or simply just taking enough space for rest and rejuvenation, just you time, And why is this? That's the question. Why is this, Well, the entrepreneur's life is typically fast-paced and devoted to ensuring what they are building comes to eventually a success. This is even more, the case when the venture is new, like fresh. Like, let's say you just started out a business, it's new and it's just taking off. The lives of many entrepreneurs become their work, and their work becomes their life. And with this, you have a pretty solid idea now, right? Where they place any and other thing outside of their business. That's number two, the number two position. And it's not that we mean it. It's not that, we're trying to put you second. It's just, man, the entrepreneur, the soul of an entrepreneur, the as Grant Cardone would say, the 10 times rule, the obsession of an entrepreneur is something that we just can't explain or control, And sadly, or maybe not so sadly, depending on your perspective, this also means that without an effort, relationships can become second fiddle. However, the nature of a relationship between two people is such that it needs a lot of work most of the times already. Let's take out the entrepreneurship. Relationships, you have to work. That's like a full-time job. You know what I'm saying? So entrepreneurship and a relationship, they're two of the same. So can you see the potential clash that's building up? If it's not managed properly, there's a good chance of ruining personal relationships at the expense of your entrepreneurial pursuits. For real. Now, this doesn't occur well for just anybody. Relationships are close to heart. And when it takes a wrong turn, it quickly affects us and our actions. And as the entrepreneur, it might cause you to lose focus and become less skillful in addressing the issues your business faces. And essentially, the crash of a personal relationship can potentially affect the business with far-reaching effects. You know, it comes in two ways. Apart from losing the safety of the companionship of your partner, you probably have also caused them significant emotional pain. Do you ever think about that? Do we think about that? The pain that comes with that. And in addition, you hope to achieve business success to live a better life, be it from financial rewards, that your business brings you, or just the feeling of fulfillment that comes with it. The feeling of knowing, man, my business took off. My idea, I started it. I remember when it was just an idea in my head, when I went to Google to research it, when I and now it's coming to fruition. When that success finally comes, it's human nature to want someone or some people to share with, and not having that can bring the feeling of accomplishment, down a notch. I look at a lot of millionaires. I study billionaires, and a lot of the entrepreneurs that are really successful, they're married. You ever notice that? You don't see a lot of single successful. It's something about being an entrepreneur and sharing that with your significant other. And once you got that significant other, you can just focus on what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, some entrepreneurs were interviewed about any regrets, at an old age. More senior citizens report that they wish they created more time with their partners while the person was still with them. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. You look back and be like, damn, maybe I could have squeezed, my significant other in at this time, or I could have did better, And I say all this just to highlight just how crucial it is to not jeopardize your relationship for the sake of entrepreneurship, and vice versa. The key is to find a middle ground and gain the chance to enjoy it from both sides. You want to be able to enjoy both sides. So that's what we're talking about, how to accomplish that, because the entrepreneurship can take over easily. Let me share a quote I came across while researching this topic. It said, slide into bed with the entrepreneur, you wind up cuddling his business. Let's repeat that. If you slide into bed with the entrepreneur, you wind up cuddling his business. Shout out to Meg Cadeau Hirschberg. He's the one that said that. But it is up to the entrepreneur, indeed, both parties, to find a way to make it work for them. So right about now, I'm going to be sharing some tips on how to get around it and find that balance, So let me light my blunt up. Y'all know how it is. This is the third episode. By now, you're used to me saying, hold on, let me light this up. It be going out. It goes out when I be doing all this damn talking, Was that rude? Was that rude for me coughing in your ear like that? Maybe you coughing too, so I don't know. So anyway. So, finding a way to manage your entrepreneur pursuits without affecting your relationship may not come easy. And it helps to remember why the person in your life is in there in the first place. And with that in mind, acting as a guiding principle, you can make fewer mistakes and be successful. Now, in my opinion, the first thing you should do is to come forward and open up to your partner about your needs, like be straight up at all times. Whether you have been running your business before your partners became an essential feature in your life, or you've been together already and before you ventured into entrepreneurship, you need to have this conversation with your significant other that this is serious. And what does it entail? Okay. It could be simply giving your partner a true picture of how your life is or will be in the future. Here, here, let's explain how important it is that you do what you want and you do it how you do it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I just said? You do what you do and how you do it. Anyway, you should be upfront about your schedule, how you hope you and your partner can work around it to remain happy with each other. And of course, your partner will express their needs, they're going to tell you how they fit in your schedule and all that, and how much time and attention they will want from you with such details. Now, this conversation, doing this, having these conversations about how to attend to your relationships is not the end goal in itself. It certainly it doesn't mean that all problems have to be solved. right here in this conversation. As you open up to each other, it is only natural that you find yourselves on opposite sides of a particular issue. Your significant other gonna have their issues, you're gonna have your issues, and that's the whole part of working together and finding the balance. Now, what this conversation helps you do is, firstly, to make you understand each other. Let's just get a grip of understanding each other. It's more hurtful when your partner does not understand what is going on and why you seem unaware of their needs. And it also helps to highlight the most vital issues, like the most problems that y'all are having, so you can come up with a solution that works for both parties. A lot of things be fucked off because of communication. A lot of things don't get resolved because you bottle it in, or you think, okay, this ain't important, I don't like it today, let me just not talk about it. But I think the best thing to do is to always talk about the most vital issues. Not the petty shit, because the petty shit sometimes can get you be arguing, or your issues don't be the same, and you the petty stuff, you end up arguing all day, 24 hours, because it's so petty. Nobody will ever win that petty shit. So discuss the vital issues that okay, we gotta agree to disagree, or agree to something in order for the relationship to even keep going. Now, navigating the murky waters of a relationship and entrepreneurship can get quite overwhelming at some points, and the best thing for you to do is disconnect from it at that time. Yes, your business is your baby, and it does need your attention and input. But sometimes the best thing you could do is take a breather, unplug the business, and of course, this is a great avenue to connect with your partner. Sometimes we can overdo it ourselves. Sometimes we overwork ourselves. Sometimes we forget to take that breather to ourselves, to get pampered, to get a massage, to go get your hair cut, to go to the mall, to go walk in the park, to exercise, hit the gym. We're so focused on that drive of an entrepreneur to get the dollar, to flip the dollar, that we forget to do that. And when you do take that time of yourself, it's just a perfect time to include your partner. And if you had that conversation about your business, and on the way y'all are going together, it might be a time where, because if you're like me, even though I'm taking a breather, I'm still thinking about the business. I'm trying to relax, I'm trying to do this, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, after this breather, I got to jump back into the war field. So it's a time to talk to your partner. Let her know why you, her in my situation, but let your spouse know why you needed this breather. What's going on in your business? It's just a perfect time to connect and vent. Get it out, Now, at this time, spend your time away from the company with your partner. Don't try to bring your company and your partner at the same time, and try to handle two birds with one stone, because you're not truly releasing yourself, because, when you do this, you got to truly be in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Now, we all know, we've heard everybody talk shit about it. It's not just my old age, but we know technology has made things quite easy. And with your phone, your phone, you could do a lot to remain connected to the business. So while you disconnect, it may be tempting to check emails, post on social media, make deals, and engage in, those type of activities. Don't. If you want to truly unplug and make the time count as dedication to your partner, you have to stay away from all that so they can truly feel your presence, So next time you're at home, consider putting your phone and other devices away. Also, it helps not to make your business the center of everything you discuss with them. Don't, after you tell them why you need the breather, just remember, okay, let's throw the business away. How your day been? How your week been? Tell me about what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? It just makes it better, Now, this doesn't mean you can't discuss business with your partner. Like I said, keep doing that. But during special alone times, make it really special. You know, pay attention to your significant other and tune into what goes on in your immediate environment, especially how they've been feeling. Because, entrepreneurs will forget that your significant other might be looking you upside your head like, man, I'm ready to leave. And you don't even know. You ain't even paying attention. You come home, the dogs, kids, everything is gone. You know what I'm saying? Because you never paid attention to your immediate environment. So the next tip I'm going to be sharing is a no-brainer. And this might sound crazy. They say make your partner the number one in your life. It's quite understandable that you have so many things pulling you at once, from clients to deadlines of all sorts. But you have to realize an important fact. Your partner doing the things they do to support you behind the scenes makes it easier for you to chase and achieve your business goals you have set. For real. So for that reason, it's up to you to assure and reassure your partner that overall they're your priority. This is why I'm leaving my house for you. I'm busting my ass, making sure we have a happy life. You are number one. You're not number two. It is necessary to make this move to show how important your partner is to you rather early. Now, a lot of my fellas entrepreneurs listen to this. Do not wait a lot has happened to make your partner displeased. Don't wait until, a lot has made your girl mad, and raise the tension in your relationship, before your partner is convinced that they matter to you. Without a doubt, it is much easier to handle when everyone is still in the mood to talk and reason things out. For real. So you got to start early. The truth is that if you cannot make your partner your number one priority, you may succeed in your business, but your relationship will most likely fail. Let's just keep it real. Since you certainly don't want that, you have to do what you have to do. It's part of an entrepreneur. Keep your head up and keep going. Putting them first involves perhaps the most essential factor when it comes to relationships and entrepreneurship. Time. For real. And you can do this by putting them first. For example, set aside a dedicated time every week that is just for you both to do whatever your partner wants to do. And as you can imagine, this can range from a night out in town or simply staying in watching TV or playing a game together. It helps to solidify the bonds that you share and make your partner feel loved. Now, there is an aspect to this that goes beyond simply doing activities together. You also have to find out what your significant other wants to do with their life. What are their goals? What are they trying to do? And then you give them support and encouragement by the need to keep moving on it. Chase your dreams. I'm gonna be there with you, helping you. I got your back in what you want to do. It ain't all about my business and entrepreneurship, because everybody wants to be an entrepreneur at the end of the night. So I want to help you. Actions like this makes them feel like, you want to see them grow and reassure them that, you're still with them. Y'all still on the same page. It also affords a chance to work together sometimes to figure out another aspect of life, thus providing new things to be happy with your partner, because sometimes entrepreneurs, some people like flowers and candy or Jordans or whatever, but some entrepreneurs like to sit up and talk about how to create another business together. And maybe we can live this business together and have fun, So, and I talk to my guys because I'm a guy, you might have noticed that a large chunk of what I've been dishing out today on this episode is interrelated, Well, when it comes to issues about relationships, a lot of lines get blurred, And on that note, let's move on to the next tip for balancing relationships and entrepreneurship. Now, we're staying connected and appreciating each other, right? We've talked about a connection is particularly vital in a relationship. Now, the feelings that no matter where you go or whatever you do, you are in the present thoughts of your partner. I'm telling you, no matter what you do, let me repeat that. Your mind and your partner's mind is thinking about each other, and that's priceless. You can't get that. Can't get that nowhere. Now, the curious thing about connections is that no one outside the relationship can understand it. No one. Fuck the outsiders. The only people that can understand it are the two people in the relationship. Now, what is particularly interesting about this connection is that you may spend time with your partner yet not feel connected to them. You may feel that even if you're in the same physical space, your minds are not in sync. Without sincere and open conversation between couples, navigating a lack of connection can be difficult and painful. And for most times, the best way to establish a connection is in the little things that show you care. The little things. An example is a cute short text a few times during the day, or maybe a quick call to check in on your partner. Acts like this indicate that your partner is thinking of you, and it builds the excitement until the next time you meet. Have little fun games in between, man. Maybe you're doing what you do. Maybe you set a reminder on your phone. Hey, text your spouse some sweet, something pretty. Hey, in my case, hey, I can't wait to see you later on tonight. I'm working. I'm doing what I need to do, but I got you on my mind. And when I get off work, let's sit back, watch some TV. Let's cook that meal you like. Let's go grocery shopping together. Something like that. It's just, it's a great thing. Now, another thing that helps to promote the connection between partners is showing genuine appreciation. Just simple appreciation. Appreciation is a good mood booster and can make people do even more. This works on strangers, so you can just imagine the effects on someone you love. Now, showing appreciation goes both ways. On the one hand, the entrepreneur in the relationship expresses their appreciation to their partner for holding down the fort. You know what I'm talking about? Keeping things running in their absence. Now, on the other hand, a partner should acknowledge their other partner's effort in trying to create special times for bonding. If you're the spouse listening to this and your spouse is an entrepreneur, show gratitude that I see you trying. I see you trying to make time for me, and that's wonderful, because the mutual atmosphere keeps partners connected in their collective responsibility to keep their relationships intact. Now, how do you show appreciation to your partner, you might ask? Praise them often and sincerely with what they do. Praise them. Let them know, you're doing good. I see you. I see you. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. But, also you could think of little ways to help them out, though, and make sure they see it. It could also be by leaving little sticky notes for them to come across, or sending text messages. Like I said, we in the phone era nowadays. Whatever you do, make sure your partner knows that you value them and their sacrifice to being with you. Now let's go to the next step for balancing relationships and entrepreneurship. Now, this tip I talk about now is often as the most important one for couples to do as well. That's communication. Communication. No relationship can survive without good communication between the parties. With the added strain of entrepreneurship, communication may be the last bit that saves your life. You and your significant other must be comfortable enough to express exactly how you feel to each other at all times. There must be space to tell your partner that you feel neglected or left out if that happens to be what you're experiencing. When communicating, partners need to avoid denying each other's reality. Gaslighting, like saying, "Oh man, you tripping," or that shit ain't talking about nothing. It's about this. No. Don't avoid denying each other's reality. Similarly, you should not keep your true feelings hidden for fear of your partner's reactions. That's a classic sign of a toxic relationship. Of which you should want to steer clear from. If you can't tell your partner your true feelings without a big reaction, it's kind of toxic. And maybe that's the vital lesson or the topic you need to talk about. Now, in this case, when you communicate, you should seek your partner's understanding of the message you pass across. Over time, poor communication leads to distrust and eventually resentment. A relationship that has been built over a long time can be destroyed in little time when the participants stop communicating effectively. Now, frequent communication is one way to build a solid foundation. Frequent communication. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean reporting every single inconvenience of the day. Don't be petty with it. But, constant touch points increase your partner's trust in you with their emotions while you are away. It also helps when issues arise as you wish to be understood. Similarly, good communication involves being able to read your partner. You got to know your partners, that's why you take time out to get to know them. Now, take note when they are having a rough day and modify your words to cater their needs, like being gentler or more empathetic. It always makes your day, and that's also priceless. Good communication also means good listening. You have to listen. Be a good listener for your partner. And despite the schedules, be that person that you can meet to vent to and confide in. Maybe I'm talking to my entrepreneurs. Maybe you having a rough day. You at the office. You got paperwork stacked up. You got payroll coming up. You got all this stuff going. But if you see your significant other is having a tough time, take a 15-20 minute break and make sure your partner can vent and confide in you. For real. I'm even learning how to do that. I'm trying to, practice what I preach, like for real. And sometimes that's hard, but we have to talk about it, and the whole point of Billionaire Think Tank is let's talk about how we get better. Let's all talk about it and keep going, Now, man, that's deep. Now that made me have to light it up again. Y'all know it goes out. I do all this damn talking. Yeah. Now, speaking of confiding in your partner is another way to succeed in both your relationships and your business endeavors, Now, I admit that you may not want to bore your partners with the finer details in front of your company. That shouldn't get boring. We all know it. They don't give a fuck. They just rocking with you, However, to make your relationship longer lasting, it is helpful to make your partner aware of your business moves. They need to understand the business you're doing and why you're doing it, the reason why you got to stay gone, what you're doing here. It's just good. It's good. Get it off your chest. Stop holding shit in your head. Now, the first thing this does is that it removes the surprise factor. When, for example, you have to cancel a date at the last minute, or you are forced to take a business call during an intimate moment. It is not out of place if you decide to ask for your partner's input on a tough decision that you might have to take. The chances are that your partner has some insights to provide, or will look at that issue from a different perspective to make the whole process easier for you. Your spouse knows you better than anybody else. And sometimes running your business plan by your spouse and seeing, how they feel. Oh man, sometimes the game that they give you is priceless. By keeping them in the loop, they feel valued as an important in your business and helpful part of your life. And it works the other way around too. As you start to see your partner for the potential they possess, it gets simpler, and it just simply makes you happy about them in general. Like it's like your go-to, your rock, as Plies would say, And as we have described entrepreneurs, they often want to have their noses in all aspects of people's lives. And when I say people's lives, people that work for them. So let me say that like this. Entrepreneurs want to have their noses in all aspects of their business. And that kind of attitude to work is not usually sustainable, and for them, it can become draining over time. It typically means that they have no time to rest away from their business. If they're the only ones working in the company, they might not have much choice and it may be less impactful. They have to do what they have to do. When there are employees to contend with, it may not be the best action for workplace morale. People simply don't like to be micromanaged. Now, in a situation where you are trying to make your relationship work on the side, you should know the art of delegation. For real. Also, you should embrace available technology to automate those tasks. You can automate. Now accept it. You might want to leave the vital parts of the process to yourself, such as making decisions and maybe generating and developing ideas. But it's usually helpful to delegate the grunt work to your staff. Free yourself up. Stop wearing so many damn jackets, even though you have to. If you can't delegate work to your staff and delegate things to your staff, you do not have a good staff. Your company is killing you. It's not your spouse, it's your company. Start delegating things to make stuff easier. And if you don't have a staff, hire interns, train them well. Eventually the time spent training becomes an investment in your business. And this is just a suggestion, but the point is to take any chance you get to free up your time, and you can take time off, it's to spend with your, as I talk to the fellas, boo, or I talk to the ladies, your man, what I'm talking about, you have to know how to balance this, and a lot of people. A lot of entrepreneurs, we create businesses, and as we go, and I'm speaking real. I'm not one of them guys on TV say, "Oh yeah, I got a great staff. I've always had a staff like this. We're mashing, and whether it's a staff I'm about to explain or a great staff, it's still great because they believe in you and they have their plan. But everybody has to get trained to get to that point. But let me get back to what I'm saying. A lot of us are entrepreneurs. When we first start a business, we take the first people that's down with us. It might be a friend. It might be, somebody who you just know to be good for the position. And we go out and we work and we get these people together, and it might not be it. Even though they're you comfortable and you trust them, they might not know how to run your business. They might not know the things, and you have to train them. And it might be harder because y'all are friends or whatever, and it interacts with your business. So keep that as an entrepreneur. Make sure your business is happy. Because if your business is not happy, a lot of us like to go home and, we're so focused on our business and we're blaming ourselves that we get to blaming our spouse. We get to blaming our house. We get to blaming the things around us. And because we're so focused on the business, this business is going to make it. It's going to work, but it never does. That's because you got to balance that focus in your business. Make sure your business is not killing you. Make sure your business is not draining you. Make sure your business is not just effective, because it might not be effective right now. It might. So how they say, they tell the fellas, happy life, happy wife. Whereas entrepreneurs, make sure when you walk in that office, everybody's happy, everybody's training, and everybody's working to get better to create that company, because that lets you go home and it's just less stress, I came across an interesting idea about balancing personal relationships and entrepreneurship. And it's about the word balance. A balance is largely unattainable in reality, and if it implies both sides having equal strengths, imagine that. You think that's easy to have equal strengths, but balance. This idea is about not finding a balance, but looking for a reality in balance. Realistically, there are going to be times where the business will eat into your personal time, and you can't work around it, but you should approach it with a give and take mindset. You feel me? Therefore, while you might tilt too much to one side sometimes, you should make sure that overall you end up doing right by both sides. That, amongst other things, involving being able to say no sometimes when the reward for saying yes is far less than the harm it could cause. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really, really think about it. Think about it. So So check me out. We've talked a lot about navigating relationships and entrepreneurship, and it has been a great show. Like I've really, I'm talking to you, talking to me, and I'm like, okay, this is definitely a great start. This is a great third episode, because a lot of people hide the fact that your household, your relationship life, or whatever, it's important into an entrepreneur's life. You know what I'm saying? So this is where I'm going to just call it on this episode of the Billionaire Think Tank Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you leave your reviews. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure, you do all that. You know what I'm saying? But I want to hear from you. But I'm also going to leave you with this. In this journey to master these two crucial parts of your life, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to be perfect. And however, the best thing you can do is not to beat yourself up. For real, don't beat yourself up. Understand mistakes are going to happen, and when they do happen, make reparations and learn from those mistakes. Learn we aren't perfect, but our efforts to do things right move us even closer to perfection. That's it for me. To the next episode. Goodbye, and I'm out.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Billionaire Think Tank. If you'd like more information on any of our stories, or you'd like to know how to get involved and share your story, head over to our website, www.thethirdlettisshow.com, or find us on Facebook. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and TuneIn. The Billionaire Think Tank Podcast is intended to provide you with tips, tools, and strategies that will help you make better decisions. Although we're good at entertaining and knowledgeable, we don't provide financial advice. So please consider your own situation and get advice before you make any decisions based on anything in our podcast. Visit www.billionairethinktank.com to learn more about how we're regulated or to access our terms and conditions.